I want to be very clear about this. You cannot be for criminal justice reform and also be for for-profit prisons. You cannot. For-profit prisons they answer to investors. They don't answer to taxpayers. So very often, they're not even subject to legislative review. In fact, one of the for-profit prisons that just opened in Kentucky operates under a memorandum of agreement and not technically a contract. So it's not subject to legislative review. Think about that now. I mean, that's really disturbing. The for-profit prisons are making a comeback, obviously, under Jeff Sessions. They're doing a lot of political giving. A lot of it is very surreptitious and very under the radar. What really scares me is, several years ago, the for-profit prisons were shuttered in Kentucky. I mean, two things Kentucky doesn't have. We don't have bail bondsmen, okay? And we didn't have for-profit prisons. And so they started making a comeback, and then we opened one, or the administration opened one right before the legislative session. And all of us were deeply concerned because many years ago there was a rash of rapes of women at the Otter Creek facility in Kentucky. There were riots, and many of the individuals who were living in prison. We shouldn't say inmates or offenders.
Thank you.
Many of the individuals who were living in prison were hungry. And so they ended up, rioting because they needed food. So it's unacceptable to me. All of the people who support for-profit prisons always say, well, they're cost-saving measures. I have lots of reasons why that's not true, including all of the litigation that followed those horrific incidents in Kentucky right before the prisons closed. But there really is not a price that you can put on the safety of the people who are living in our jails and prisons. And I identify as a conservative. I mean, I'm from Kentucky, so yeah. And I'll tell you, I mean, those of us who have a deep faith and who care about how we treat our neighbors and our family and our friends, you can't support for-profit prisons. I don't care how much money it saves, and I'm deeply hopeful that we'll be vigilant moving forward.